So today I'm going to be telling you about my thoughts on the Stila Starlight Star Bright highlighting palette. This is a limited edition for Christmas 2016 and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So if you open it up, which is really tricky to open up. Okay, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. I'll open it this way. Okay, so as you can see, there are three different highlighting shades. You've got a really kind of rich gold shade at the end. You've got a champagne shade in the middle, which is called Kitten, which everybody knows. Kitten is like the cult kind of favourite from Stila. I feel like, do you agree with me that with Stila, because Kitten is such a popular fan favourite shade for them, in every new kind of line or collection they do, they'll always name one of the products Kitten, even if it doesn't really look exactly like the original Kitten eyeshadow, which this one does look like it, but it's not like 100% kind of match. So if you're expecting it to be like Kitten in a creamy kind of form, don't expect that. And over at the end here, you've got a lovely kind of pink, soft pink opalescent kind of shade. This palette costs £32. As I said, it was a limited edition, so if you're interested in it, I would definitely recommend you go out and do some swatching and see if it's for you. This palette, in my opinion, is very unique due to the consistency of the highlights. They're not your typical kind of powder highlight, and then they're not your typical cream highlight. They're somewhere in the middle. Feel like putty, so they're quite like moldable. I can imagine, well, for example, the other day Alex stuck his finger in the gold shade and I was kind of like, no, but then I realized that you can just kind of like mold it back into its bulbous kind of form. So they're a very strange kind of consistency. A lot of people have compared them to Colourpop's highlight consistency, so if you're familiar with them, you probably can imagine what these may feel like. Now, I fully was not going to buy this palette, even though I'd seen a lot of positive reviews. I was thinking, no, I'm not going to buy it. I don't need it. I don't need any more highlights. But then I was in Boots and there was one out on display. So obviously I swatched it, and when I swatched it, I thought, yes, I need it. It's different from everything else I have. I need it. And do you know what? I am super happy with it, and I'm really pleased that I did go ahead and buy it. They've tried to cover all bases here in terms of the shades. I feel like this light pink shade will work really well on fair skin tones. The middle one is quite a universal shade. It's gonna, I think, work well with any kind of skin tones. I feel like the gold one is a little bit too much for me, but I could use that as an eyeshadow. So I mean, I could probably do without this one and I would have happily paid a bit less, but there you go. I was going to apply the highlight to one side of my face so you could see it, and then I was going to show you like a demo of me applying it to the other side of my face, but then because I'm the forgetful person that I am, I completely forgot and I got carried away. So I ended up applying, oh, I almost fell off the stool again. So I ended up applying the pink shade to the tops of my cheeks. Now, one thing I will say about these is that they are not extremely pigmented. The reason why I was so seduced by these was because I am always looking for a highlighter that has that kind of really wet look to it, and I find that a lot of the time with powder highlights they can look powdery, surprisingly. I am always trying to aim for that kind of like sheen, the wet sheen of metallic look, which I know isn't the most natural, but that's what I'm always aiming for with a highlight, and these really fit the bill for that look. I'm going to do some little swatches here so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So there's the three shades: pink, kitten, gold. Okay, so look, again, true makeup junkie here. I do not ever not have swatches on my hand, so I'm just gonna, I suppose I'll just have to swatch them like here. Okay, so there we go. Can you see? Sorry, not the best swatches those, were they? They were quite the ridiculous swatches. I'm going to just start over again. I'm going to just swatch here. Okay, so do you see what I mean about that kind of wet, sheeny kind of look? I just feel like these are a really unique and beautiful formula. The one thing though that I will say about these as a negative is that they don't last long at all on the face. I feel like I'll apply them in the morning and by lunchtime they're pretty much almost gone, and I think it's because they're quite oily. They seem quite oil based, so I feel like they just kind of come off quite easily. They're not the longest lasting kind of highlight, which is a shame, but then again, I don't regret buying it. I'm really happy that I've got this because it is different to everything else that I have. Another thing to mention is I feel like you're going to go through these fairly quickly. If there's one shade that you're really into, you're probably going to find that you run out quite quickly because they're not the most pigmented. Stila do actually advise that you can layer these up, and I think what they're trying to say is they're not very pigmented, so you need to put a lot on. I think that's what they're saying. I could be wrong, but I suspect as much. It's a limited edition. It's a very special, beautiful, unique formula. So I would definitely say if you're interested in this, I would recommend you go and swatch it, give it a go, see what you think. Already put the pinky shade on, which I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go ahead and do that away from you. I wanted to do that in your company. So I'm going to now go ahead and apply some of the kitten shade just so you can see. Do you see what I mean about that? The wet look, and it also gives you that really nice kind of lit from within. I hate that phrase, but lit from within kind of glow. I'm going to just apply to this side as well. Like, these are absolutely gorgeous. It just gives you that really nice light highlighted lit from within. I'm just saying it, I'm owning this. Lit from within, beautiful highlighted look. I just literally, sometimes I just come up to my bedroom and I'll just swatch these for the sake of swatching them, because I can't get enough. I'm going to put a little bit there. Why not? Just put a little bit up there. Can you see that? Look, just look at the light that is being reflected off my face right now. That is some light. There have been a lot of positive reviews on these, and then there's also been a lot of negative reviews too. All I can say is, if you're interested in it, go give it a swatch, see what you think. But I mean, really, I'm super, super, super glad that I got this. And I think the proof is in the pudding, you can see. Okay, so that's it for my review. I hope it was somewhat helpful. If you have been at all interested in this palette, I love it. I personally love it. I think it's fabulous. I think if you were to buy it, you wouldn't regret it. Just keep in mind that they're not very pigmented. They're not very long lasting. You will have to use a lot of the product to get some real glow action going on. And I do feel like they're not going to last you for the longest of times. Does that make sense? But I do feel like it's quite a special palette and a unique palette, so definitely worth a little swatcheroo session if you are near one. Okay, so thank you as always for watching, and I will be back soon with more reviews. Bye.